Persoone, chocolatier, beekeeper, cocoa farmer en kok. Chocolate is rock and roll. Now it's time for the epic show.
Fuck, die voel ik wel uit.
So auf einigen Bildern möchte man ihm nicht unbedingt nachts in einer Unterführung begegnen, aber das Schlussbild zeigt halt, dass wahnsinnig viel Humor und Spaß damit verbunden ist. Wen wundert's, wenn man den ganzen Tag mit Schoki zu tun hat? Einen herzlichen Applaus und herzlich willkommen auf der Bühne, Dominique Persoone.
Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon. First of all, I do a lot of presentations all over the world, but the way they treat you here in ChefAlps, it's amazing. It's very professional. They take very good attention of every detail. So if you're okay, please give a big applause to the organization here. It's amazing what they do for the chefs. So ChefAlps, all respect of the world. It was really, it's an honor to be here. And then I have a wonderful princess. She calls Lisbeth. She's from Toerisme Vlaanderen. And they support the chefs of Flanders to spread our message all over the world, to show good food and give great philosophy about what we do in the small part of Belgium, Flanders, but we have the guts. All right. So, long time ago, when I had beautiful long hair and I was very thin, I was working in the kitchen in Paris. I was working in the big 3 Michelin star restaurants. And then I fell in love with chocolate. And instead of starting a restaurant, I decided to become a chocolatier and start a chocolate shop. So we started very small in Bruges. We have a very small shop in Bruges. Very romantic. I was working together with my wife, and my mother-in-law came and helped us in the weekend. It was really cool. And after a few years, we decided to start a new shop. And I don't want to be a big industrial chocolatier, but I was very emotional to start another shop in Antwerp. We had the opportunity to start a shop in the original palace of Napoleon. You know Napoleon here in Swiss? Yes, Napoleon. And Napoleon had about 8 girls, I think. He had Marie Antoinette and a lot of girlfriends. And for me, it's very emotional to make chocolates in the original kitchen of Napoleon, where he was making bacon and eggs for his girls on Sunday morning. We deliver a lot of chocolates to Japan, and it's really wonderful to do that. But Japan, it's really complicated. I mean, if you can deliver chocolates in Japan, then the hygiene laws has to be quite big. So we decided to make a chocolate factory. And it's 2,800 square meters. And it's really fun to make chocolates over there. But Belgium have a lot of strange rules, I mean crazy rules. And one of the rules we have is like the logo of your company can be a certain percentage of your building. And for me, of course, as you see, it's way too small. So I was walking in my factory, I said, how can I show the people the chocolate energy, that they feel the chocolate? So I decided to put chocolate on the building. Some people thought it was a painting factory in the beginning, but now they really know that it's chocolate, and it's really, really fun to work over there. The chocolate drips became their own story. And I'm an ambassador of Land Rover. It's a very interesting deal. If they ask you, say yes. It's very, very good. So they asked me to design a chocolate mobile, and I did it for them. It's the Evoque you can see over there. And then in Bruges, we have a quite nice design umbrella factory, and they asked me to make chocolate umbrellas, so it's quite funny too. And now they ask me everything. They ask me to make windows, they ask me to promote dog food, but those things we don't do. But they ask me to design shoes. It's not those shoes, we're still working on it. So I say, okay, I want to do the shoes on one condition. If it's white shoes with the chocolate drips, and the backside has to be a chocolate bar. Imagine you're walking in the snow, here in Switzerland, you do, no? Or in the sand, and you have all chocolate bars behind you. It could be funny, but they're still working on it. It's not so easy to do. This is the production zone, and it's purple for color. I don't choose the colors. It's my wonderful wife who does it. And she has an amazing philosophy called the Feng Shui. And Feng Shui means it's a Chinese energy thing. I don't know nothing about it. But when I'm pissing at home, I have to close the toilet because the money flows away if you leave the toilet open. And the Feng Shui says it's very important. She's here, and she's going to kill me afterwards. And the Feng Shui says if you want to have high production, your production zone should be white and red. Because red color makes your team aggressive, and they're going to work a lot, and it's going to be high production. And then she said, no, I don't want it. I'm going to choose for purple, then everybody's very relaxed, and they're going to be slowly and funny, and they love each other. And that's what you want to show in our chocolates, love and fun. So that's the reason why it's purple. We have a test kitchen. And it's a really funny place. We do a lot of tests over there. It's completely, you will see all the spices you have over there. And it's green, because the Feng Shui says green is the color of inspiration. If you have a think tank in your restaurant or in your test kitchen, paint it green. Green is the color of inspiration. And if you don't have the space, maybe you can paint your toilet green. When you're shitting, you have a lot of inspiration. So that's what I did also in my house. It's really fun to work in the test kitchen with my team. We do a lot of experimental stuff. To be honest, 90% goes to the garbage. It's straight to wacko. But it's really, really fun to have a space to do meditation. And one day, my son came back from school and he says, Daddy, I had a lesson from a beekeeper and it's amazing. You use so much honey and you talk for years and years if you want to have your own bees. So please start and do a course of beekeeping. I say, okay, we're going to do it. So I start the course, having fun, learning a lot about the bees. You have lots of bees too, here in Switzerland. But it's amazing. The more you learn about the bees, it's really very impressive. For example, a bee, when it's born, it lives only, now in this time of the year, it lives only about 6 or 8 weeks. So they get born and they start working day and night, and then 8 weeks later, everything is done and they die. Can you imagine working 24 hours, 7 days a week, and then you die? For me, it's amazing. And bees, it's really girl power. They don't need the boys, sorry. They only need the boys in the spring, but I come back on it later. And girl power, only ladies, really fucking girls who would go for it. And after a few tequilas, I was thinking about girls, flying girls, made me think about the stewardess. Stewardess made me think about an airport. Instead of having the boring bee houses, let's make a chocolate line airport. And that's what we did. We made a real airport, all respect for the ladies, and it's really cool to work on the bees with our chocolate line airport on the roof of our production zone. I do a lot of TV in Belgium, and when you go on TV often, they ask you to do crazy things. So they asked me to be the godfather of the bees, because it's going very bad with the bees worldwide. We use too much pesticides. It's really going bad. And Einstein told us, if there are no more bees after 4 years, we're going to be dying here in the world, because the bees are very important. And it's wonderful to work with your own honey. We also use the bee wax. So, of course, we have the honey, but we also have the bee wax. And it's very interesting. People who want to do tests in the kitchen. When you're making cookies, instead of just putting butter or other fat on the plate, you can make a mix with butter and bee wax. And then you have small cookies, and you cook them, and the flavor of the bee wax is into the cookies. It's really, really, really cool. And one of the parts that really interested me was, I have to try, we're in Switzerland, so I have to watch out for my language. It's in my contract here with ChefAlps. So every bee family has a queen. And you have to imagine it's spring, and the queen is still a virgin. And of course she has to get pregnant. And then the lazy guys, the boys, they do nothing. I think it's great to be queen boy. They just laying in the sofa. They bring their food. They do not have to do anything. But then certainly they smell the smell of a queen virgin. And then they have to go for action. So they fly behind the queen. And the queen, she only wants to have the best boys. The boring boys out. So they're very selective. And then she's flying very high, and the strongest boy, the macho boy, is flying behind her. He's opening his pants. He's taking out his, I'm in Switzerland, his love angle thing. And he's putting his thing in. And then he has the seed who's coming out. And then his willy breaks off, and he just dies. And then the next one is coming, flying behind him, takes the willy out of the guy, and put his willy in. And it's happening 20 times when she's flying. And then after 20 times, she's full of seed. And flying back home, and she's dripping a little bit, and flying back home, and then she can have babies for between 3 and 5 years, and she put about 1,000, 3,000 babies every day. It's amazing, no? It's not a porn movie I'm telling you. It's nature. It's God who invented those things. So it's really fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, don't put too much pesticides in the world. Save the honeybee. We started very small, little by little, and now we are 43 people in our team. It's wonderful to have a great team. I think it's very important to have respect for everybody in our team. We're not, hello, Mr., fuck that. We really like, hi, John, how are you? Good. Hi, DJ. Hey, Mintje. Hey. It's important to have a good atmosphere in your team. You have the respect for the girl who's cleaning in the morning, the guy who's the driver, the chef of the production. Everybody in our team is very important. But of course, every team needs a boss. And thanks God, it's not me. But it's my beautiful wife, Fabienne, and I had to promise her I will never make the calculation of money anymore. I'm the worst businessman in the world. I have to give all my money to my wife, and on Sunday at 11 o'clock she gives me the money for the week. For cigarettes and beers and newspapers, and it's the perfect system. The bank world, Swiss bank world, they call it no financial stress. So I don't have any financial stress, and it's really, really fun to work with her, my big boss, Fabi. Darling, I love you. Eh? Okay, let's open the box. It's time for an aperitif, no? I think so. In your box there is chocolate. It's a green one. We call it the apéro. And it's a mix with passion fruit, the skin of green lime, and a little bit of vodka. Because sometimes I get my inspiration from cocktails. I like to drink. I'm a little alcoholic, together with my wife. And it's really fun to get inspiration from cocktails. But beside my wife, I have another love in my life, and it's going on expedition. The more I travel, the more I go around in the world, the more I learn about chocolate. So we are like 5 buddies, and we really love to travel. It's like a boys' thing. And we travel around the world and learn so much about chocolate. We do all Latin America, we do Asia. It's amazing how much you can learn on your food by traveling. But of course, she's the businesswoman. She's the big CEO of the company. And after a while, she says, hey, darling, you're having fun in the jungle with the beautiful Punkahunta and the onions girls, and I have to work here. So I was afraid that you will cut my expedition philosophy. So I took a picture of a Kuna Indian and put it on her office. And since then, I have the permission to go on expedition twice a year. Of course, I didn't tell her that Miss Venezuela was a cocoa farmer as well, but that's another thing. But the more you travel, and definitely to Latin America, the more you learn about chocolate. Like in Mexico, the national dish in Mexico is mole poblano. It's chicken and chocolate sauce. And I was so impressed that they use cocoa as a spice into their national dish. And when I came back, I really wanted to make a chocolate with mole poblano, but how do you start with it? But I have good connections with cooks, chefs, all over the world. And one of my friends, Philippe, from the Young Man, he says, Dominique, I use the skin of pigeon. I take the skin off. I boil it in salted water, dip it dry, and then I fry it. And it's like a krupuk of chicken skin. So that's how I made the mole poblano chicken. It's really cool to be very close to your product. I use a lot of cocoa beans from all over the world. My wife likes shopping, so she goes for shoes and handbags. And I like buying cocoa beans. So we bought it all over the world, Peru, Colombia, Guatemala, amazing. And I had a very good supplier, a farmer from Mexico, who has the most amazing cacao beans of the world. For me, it's Criollo beans. It's really the most amazing beans. And after a while, badly enough, he died. And then he had 2 sons, so I said, no problem, the farm is going to continue. But you know how it goes about money, they get into a fight. And I couldn't buy those beans anymore, so the only option I had was to start my own plantation. And in Mexico, it's really cool. We have our own plantation. It's very funny to be very close with your product. So we have 6 people over there who work for us, and the chef of the plantation is Concho, really nice guy. We have a lot of cocoa trees. We have 3,300 cocoa trees, 3 varieties. And you have to imagine a cocoa tree needs a lot of shadow. When it's too much sunshine, it's burning, so it doesn't go. And in Mexico, the cheapest plant you can buy, it's banana. It's growing like mint. It's all over. So I bought a lot of banana trees, put it in the ground, it grows, bam, lots of shadow. Okay, perfect. And then 6 months later, Concho called me, hey, patron, what do we have to do with the bananas? I say, fuck, I didn't thought about it, so what do we have to do with the bananas? I say, take them home, have the bananas, give it to the neighbors, nice bananas. 6 months later, he called me, patron, we hate bananas. Nobody wants to use them anymore. And of course, we don't want to throw away the food. So we get in contact with a wild animal organization. They protect the animals. And now every 3 weeks, there's a big truck who's stopping on the plantation. We give the bananas, and in this way, we can still use our stuff. Cocoa pots, it's like a pineapple or a mango. We open it, we take out the seeds. There's like a white agua de cacao around it. It's like a white thing, and it's flavored. It's like lychee. It's quite sweet and acid at the same time. We use it for fermentation. So we have wooden boxes, put the beans in, have the leaves of the bananas and the fermentation starts. It's about 5 days. We do it 5-6 days, and then we dry them. It's like a dry thing. We dry them, and it's really, really fun. It's amazing waiting. I'm very impatient. I can't wait. I'm a little like Ryan, who's like all the time like that. But when you're very patient, and after 5 years, finally, you have your own cocoa pots, and then you can make your own chocolates. So in your box, you'll find a little slice of chocolate. And how do we taste chocolate? It's very important. Just don't immediately put it in your mouth and just eat it like that. Actually, you should take it in your hands. Well, it's hot today here. Take it in your hands. Let it be room temperature a little bit, and then you put it on your tongue. And don't touch it anymore. Just let it melt, and the flavor of the cacao will come out. Here in Switzerland, they have amazing chocolate. Really, eh? As a Belgian chocolate maker, Swiss, respect for the chocolate you make. Wonderful, definitely the milk chocolate, very cool. But the problem is they roast it way too hard. So it is too strong. And even in Belgium, it's the same thing. They roast too hard, roast very low, so you have a lot of acidity who's coming out. I love the acidity of the chocolate that we use. And in the shop in Bruges, we have our own 3-2 bar, so we make our own chocolate that the customer can see, roasting the beans, making chocolate of it, and it's amazing. And even commercial-wise, it's amazing. It's like the cartoon, you know, Tom and Jerry? Tom and Jerry, that they are following the smell of the roasting chocolate. It's commercial-wise, it's very interesting too, but it's really fun. So take the chocolate, let it melt, and relax. Of course, on the plantation, we have our own honeybees. It's the Melipona, wonderful bees, very small bees. They cannot stick you, but they're very important for the flowers and all the vegetables and the spices that we have on the plantation. Because of the collaboration with the Animal Protection Organization, they really help us a lot. Because a few years ago, we had problems with the rattlesnakes. We had a lot of rattlesnakes in the plantation, and then they discovered an illegal boa club. You know the boa snakes? It's like very big snakes, and they have about 60 baby boas, and they give the boas to us. And the good thing is that the boas are eating the rattlesnakes, so in this way we keep the balance between the rattlesnakes and the boas. Yeah, this is my wife, and we have dogs, and it's really, really fun. And this is Benny. On the plantation we have monkeys, spider monkeys, really cool guys. This is Benny, he's blind, he's coming from a circus, because a certain part of the plantation have too many rocks and stones, so it's impossible to put trees in the plantation. So we decided, my wife decided to put a big cave over there, and it's like an adoption center for the spider monkeys. But you can see the baby monkey. Even if you're blind, you can still do your job on the plantation. And the idea behind it is that the plantation is in a national park, so it's forbidden to go hunting and all that stuff. So the idea is the babies we can leave again, free them into the plantation, and that's we hope we can help the monkeys a little bit. My wife is a herborist. Is it English? I don't know. A herborist. So she did studies on spices. When we have a fight, I have diarrhea the day after. I don't know how it comes, but she's a spice specialist. And so we have our own vanilla, we have our own cinnamon, we have all different kinds of chili peppers on the plantation. And we dry them, and then we sell it in the shop, and the profit goes to the animals to help them and to support them on our thing. The plantation is really, really cool. We're very happy about it. And 1 year ago, I get René Redzepi from Noma. He called me, he says, Dominique, we're going to do a pop-up restaurant in Tulum. We would love to use your cacao in our menu. Can you please help me? And it was the most amazing thing. And I really tried to inspire René about the products we have in the plantation. Like this, for example. These are the babies of the wasps, not the bees we keep, but the wasps. So in Mexico, they call it the caviar of the Mayas. It's the bee's nest of the wasps. And we smoke very slowly, so the wasps are flying away. And then the babies we smoke, and we use it as a very a nice crunch into the dishes. René used it in his restaurant in Tulum. It was the most amazing food experience I had in my life, really. All respect for René. It was really, really cool. We supply them the honey, we supply them the cacao, we have a lot of things that we give to them. They build their own kitchen. They only use the natural fire, and it was an amazing thing. In 24 minutes, it was completely sold out, and half an hour later, they had 9,000 people on the waiting list. Very cool, with the feet in the sand. They were working in the shore. It was one of the most amazing food experience. I go very quickly into the thing. He did a study for more than 1 year on all the ingredients they have in Mexico. And then they made about more than 100 dishes. And finally, they reduced it until 15 dishes that really could go in the restaurant. It was wonderful. We delivered, of course, the Criollo Carmelo for his Pousse Café. We helped him with the dessert on the ice cream with the chili pepper. It was one of the most wonderful experience I had to work with René. All respect. It was even, a very good restaurant. Chocolate. Let's go back to chocolate. One of the classic fillings we have is praline. And praline are roasted hazelnuts or almonds that we mix with sugar, and then you mix it, and we have a machine called a bowl refiner. It's like 70 kilograms of balls who are turning around, and then you have a wonderful praline. So instead of buying praline already done, we go to Torino, and we buy wonderful hazelnuts. It's like, the guys in the car, and we buy wonderful hazelnuts, we roast and make good praline. But I'm living on the countryside, and I have 3 dogs at home. And my wife says, darling, you have to go get food for the dogs. So I was walking in the shop. We have like a special pet shop food, something like that. And I was walking over there, and I was passing the area of bird food. So I see the bags of pirate food. You know pirates, the birds who can talk? And I was saying, fuck, if those birds can eat it, maybe we can eat it too. So I bought a few bags. I tasted with my team, very crunchy. But then I started roasting it, mixing it, putting sugar. So we made praline of pirate food. It's really good, eh? Really, really good. So we started to do a lot of experimental stuff with our machine. We make praline of hennep, hennep from Amsterdam. Hennep seeds, very good. Sunflower seeds. You can make poppy seeds. You can make praline with all different kinds of seeds. So in your box, there's another chocolate. It's an origin chocolate from Ecuador. You have a gel of calamansi. Calamansi, it's a lime from the Philippines. It's between mandarin and lime. And then we have a praline of pecan. Very interesting, really, really funny praline of pecan. So please taste it. If you don't like the chocolates, you can keep the box as a spitting box. I don't have any emotional problems with it. But what I want to talk about you today, and one of the questions they ask me a lot, is where do you get your inspiration from? So I always go to the Museum of Modern Art when I go to a new town. I think it's very inspirational to see the modern art, how they think about life. And sometimes inspiration comes of need. So I'm living on the countryside. We have about 20 chickens, and I have a very active cock. I have a very active cock too. But we have a very active cock. And my wife was angry. She says, you see, the girls doesn't have any more feathers on their back, and the cock make coq au vin with him. It's like, boys between boys. So stay calm. I went upstairs. I take old sweaters, cut off the piece, and we make 2 holes. And I give every girl a sweater. And after the winter, they had feathers again, so inspiration of needs. It's very important. And I think chocolate is something very romantic. I think you really have to let the children dream about chocolate. We make big statues in the shop. You can make the most amazing things with chocolate. I think it's really, really fun to let the children dream. It's really important, something Willy Wonka, something romantic. So it's worth to put a lot of energy into chocolate pieces. In Belgium, we have, I'm a little bit ill, but I'm sorry for that. In Belgium, we have chocolate sprinkles that we put on our bread in the morning, you know, very small pieces of chocolate. And officially, they call it hagelslag. Hagelslag is something hagels. But everybody in Belgium calls it mouse shit. So we're selling it for years and years, hagelslag, hagelslag. Yeah, mouse shit, mouse shit, mouse shit. And then my wife says, darling, everybody says it's mouse shit, let's change the packaging. Let's call it mouse shit. Maybe we can change the look. Maybe we can make a painting of a mouse who's shitting on the toilet. So we did it, and the sales went up to 300%. And then she says, darling, make a shitting mouse. I say, okay, make a big shitty mouse who's shitting on the toilet. And then I'm on my move, eh? Say, I make big cow shit, you know, cow, the flat. Yeah, you know, here in Switzerland, cow shit, flat. And I make rabbit shit, and I make dog shit. I make all different kinds of shit in chocolate. Just for the window. But everybody wanted to buy it. Say, yeah, I want the dog shit. It's just the window. No, please, can we buy? I sell dog shit, you can imagine. Why I'm showing you this? I think we, and in Switzerland as well, we're 2018. I mean, the customer today wants to have fun. Don't make show your balls, go for it, and you can change the world. Everybody wants to laugh, we want to have fun, we can make crazy, funny things. This is another example. One of my customers, she was pregnant from twins. And it's a new thing in Belgium. When you're pregnant, you do like a girls' night, you know, girls' night? You do girl party. Yeah, we're not allowed to get in, eh? And then she wanted to announce that she was pregnant from twins. And she says, Dominique, you have to make the dessert for me. I'm going to do a party, please. Okay. I said, okay. It was a nice girl. So I said, okay, I didn't do it. I said, is it a boy or a girl? I don't know. So you have names? No, I don't know. I said, where do I have my inspiration from? I don't know. So then I went to the basic. So here you have a gel of mango, a white chocolate mousse from lemongrass, praline of pecan, and of course, the small crocodiles of chocolate. I'm one of the chocolatiers who are in the Michelin Guide, and I make quite funny combinations, but in the beginning everybody thought the cook who makes chocolate is just wacko. But little by little I get more respected. And in Belgium we have 3 restaurants who have 3 Michelin stars. So now every week we supply the private chocolates for Mr. Van Ecke from Carmelit, Peter Hoosters from Hof van Kleven, an amazing guy, and Hert de Mangleer from Hertog Jan. It's really fun, and I think it's very important to work together because they give me a lot of inspiration. When I make chocolates for them, I always ask a little thing to get my inspiration. So in your box, there's a small chocolate from the #1 restaurant of Belgium, Peter Hoosters, Hof van Kleven. It's an origin chocolate from Peru. It's a gel of griot. Griot is a very acid cherry. And then the second layer is a ganache of samba tea, a very fruity tea. So close your eyes and you are 3 seconds in the #1 restaurant of Belgium. Working together. Be open for working together. I think it's very important. This guy, for example, is Stephen Jones. He's one of the most important head designers in the world. He makes the heads for Madonna, for Nicole Kidman, for Beyoncé. And he asked me to make a collection with him because he was doing a world tour, going to Milan, to Japan, and he wanted to make a collection together inspired by chocolate and his head. It was amazing. I learned so much about that guy, about design, about his philosophy. It's really important. Don't only stay in the kitchen or in the restaurant. When you work together with other guys, you can really make amazing things. Same thing with Land Rover. This is Johnny Boer, the #1 chef from Holland, Sergio Hert, David Martin. We make together a collection of Defenders, and it was really, really fun to work with those guys. few years ago, one of my suppliers gave me a box of caviar at the end of the year. And you know how it goes in the end of the year. Huh? We work a little, but still, caviar, drink. And I was making caramel in the kitchen. And we always put a little bit of salt into our caramel. And I was giving flavors to my team because some of my team never tasted caviar before, and I was a little tipsy, I'm gonna be honest. And I say, instead of putting salt in my caramel, let's put a little bit of caviar. So I put it in, and the heat of the sugar was so hot, so the caviar starts popping. I say, okay, it's burnt, it's finished. And then the day after, I came back in my kitchen and we tasted caramel, and it was amazing. The flavor of the caviar was really into the caramel, and then we decided to make a new collection, caviar chocolates. It was really, really fun, and we didn't use any alcohol. It was really amazing from flavor. The balance between salty and the sea and the sugar was wonderful. I'm a tattoo guy. My mother hates it. They say you're a fucking criminal. I take so long care of your body. I put the cream when you were a baby, and now you're doing this. Let's not do that discussion today. But that bald guy over there is Henry Haight, and Henry is one of the most famous tattoo artists of London. He makes all the tattoos for the family Beckham, you know, the football guys, and for Alexander McQueen, the designer, and all the tattoos of Amy Winehouse are for him, and some of them are mine. So I was laying there, and certainly the brother of Amy came in and says, yeah, where you from? Yeah, Belgium, chocolate, cool. Yeah. What you do tonight here? Yeah. Said, okay, let's have some tequilas tonight. You know how it goes, eh? Food, fun, alcoholics. Yeah. And then after a few tequilas, I say, let's work together. Let's make something really funny. Let's make a chocolate tattoo collection. So Henry, he made the designs. The brother of Amy helped us with the flavors that Amy really loved. And of course, he made a collection. We had a pop-up shop in London. We sold more about 15,000 boxes of that collection. And the profit went to the Amy Winehouse Foundation against alcoholism, against drug abuse. Really, really fun. The reason I'm telling you this is because a chocolatier was somebody who stays in the basement and make truffles. And a tattoo artist is making wrong names on drunk sailors. But if you're able to work together, you can change the world. So please work together and you can do amazing things. This guy is Spencer Tunick. He's one of the most famous photographers of the world. And Bruges in Flanders was one of the cultural capitals of the world. And he says, I have to do an installation with thousands of naked people. And tomorrow, I want to do a private installation only with girls, about 100 naked girls, and I want you to cover them up with chocolate. Fucking hell. I don't know how it goes in Switzerland, but in Belgium, you go to your wife, say, darling, can you give me the permission to do it? And my wife says, do they pay? Yeah, okay, go. So I was there, and you have about 80 naked ladies laying over there. I was very stressed, because now they lay down, it's okay, but when they wake up and come close to you, it's very claustrophobic. You don't want to move anymore as an only boy. It was a wonderful installation, really, really fun. Spencer was very happy about the results. And then he says, Dominique, now I want to do a second one, only with naked boys and white chocolate. I'm very open-minded, but put guys in white chocolate, it was like, whoa. Huh? So I made the chocolate paint, and I say, darling, it's important. In Belgium, we always try to be in balance. Boys and girls, in your relationship, balance. Say, darling, it's time to put chocolate on the boys. Those are the boys, eh? It was a very cold day. So we put white chocolate on the boys, and it was really, really cool to do that. One of my best friends, I mean personally, but my worst customer ever, is Sergio Herman. He's really a pain in the ass. He has 20 on 20 on the Go MEO, 3 Michelin star chef. We worked more than 15 years together. It was amazing. He gave me a lot of inspiration. We did wonderful projects together. This is, for example, a chocolate bar that we designed more than 15 years ago for his restaurant, Old Sluis. And every year we do Tomorrowland. You know, Tomorrowland is like the big dance festival in Flanders. I'm getting old, eh? But anyway. And we have a restaurant called The Secret. It's over here. This is The Secret. It's very expensive to eat there, but the money that the people pay to eat there goes not to Sergio, not to me, not to Tomorrowland, but we ask the people to give the money to a good cause, to the cancer research organization. Also really, really fun. We can do amazing things. And with Sergio, I also do every year the Antwerp Diner. It's like the AIDS Foundation dinner. You know, all famous chefs make one dish, and I'm always the last one, the chocolate guy. And I always try to use my inspiration for the food. So I made edible sperm. I made the logo of AIDS Foundation. And I came up with the idea, let's make edible condoms and put on safe sex. And then the organization said, yeah, great idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put real condoms with chocolate flavor. But when you're the last one and half of the room is a little bit tipsy, I saw girls showing on the thing, so it's not always very interesting. These are the chocolates we make now for Sergio. So he has the restaurant Jane together with Nick. Then he has Pure C, really, really cool. In Bruges, we organize every year a food festival, Cook, Cook and Eat. And I have to design every year a dessert. So here we have, for example, a Kiss of the Night Nurse. It's a dessert inspired by the hospital. We use injection. Yeah, it's a bit like Switzerland, no? The cross. The cross. And the funny thing is, the sauce I put into a Baxter. You know what it is, a Baxter? You can buy it in the pharmacy. It's like a plastic bag and a tube that when you're really almost dying, you can use it. It's very cheap. So the best thing is to buy one with salt and water connection. And then you put the filling out and you put your sauce in. And in Belgium, we have an organization to help ill people. And you can rent trolleys. It's very cheap. It's like €3 to have a trolley for 1 month. And then the girls went to the carnival shop and were dressed like sexy nurses. And they come with the trolley with the sauce and put the sauce on the dish. This is rice pudding with golden spoons. In Belgium, we believe when you go to heaven, you eat rice every day with golden spoons. And so there was a dessert completely designed by rice and spoons. So it's a chocolate spoon, we have marshmallow wings, we have ice cream of sake, really cool. This is what's on Dominique's mind. It's a dessert based on marijuana and gin, very nice. This is Choco Boy. It's a dessert when I was working with the Fat Duck, an ice cream based on bacon and eggs. This is stutte met choco. So stutte met choco, it's a dialect. It's a slice of bread and chocolate spread. Because sometimes you don't have any inspiration. And I'm quite boring. Eh? Every morning I'm having the same breakfast, a slice of bread with chocolate spread. And I was like, fuck, I have to make a dessert and I have no inspiration. I was looking at my breakfast, slice of bread, chocolate spread. So then I decided with my team, all the ingredients you need to make bread and to make the chocolate spread, we're going to put it on the table. And with all the ingredients, we're going to make a dessert. So that's why it's a stutte met choco. This is Belt Aspe moet het congé. Aspe is a quite famous police TV show. So call Aspe out of his holiday, something like that. Really, really fun, inspired by the crime scene. One of my good friends is Albert Adria from El Bulli, of course, and have a lot of restaurants now in Barcelona. And the thing I do with Albert, of course, we have a lot of porn movies we send to each other for fun, but the thing I do with Albert, it's to keep on motivating our team. And that's very important. I'm sure there are a lot of amazing chefs with amazing teams here, but you have to keep the spirit in your team. And how can you motivate your people? The thing I do with Albert, every year he sends somebody from his team to my production zone, and those guys get into a new world, learn how to make chocolates and have fun. And that's how we try to keep on motivating our team. Another friend of mine is Alex Atala. The girls in my shop say, that's the most sexy chef of the world. Alex Atala. And Alex has a great heart. We do amazing things. I was invited last year to do a quatre-mains with him as in his restaurant. We did the crazy, crazy stuff. But I met Alex a few years ago to do a presentation together in New York and in Flanders and in Peru. And Alex said, let's find some inspiration for our presentation. So he invited me to Manaus. It's the capital of the jungle of the Amazon. And I saw the food market in the Amazon. It's amazing. Eh? Here in Europe, you think, yeah, we know everything. We know oranges. You come there, 10% you know, the rest you never saw in your life. So I went with Alex into the jungle. And on a certain moment, we saw backpackers. You know backpackers? The guys from the United States who go into the jungle. And they were catching small yellow frogs and licking on it. I said, Alex, what are they doing? Oh, don't you know? If you lick on the frog, you're high for 2 days. I said, whoa, that's cool. So what we did, we make small chocolate frogs, fill it up with the typical flavors of Brazil. It's cilantro, coriander, chili, and lime. And on the frogs, you put lidocaine. You know lidocaine? When you go to the dentist, so for sleeping your teeth. So we were telling the story about the backpackers. The people had to lick on the frog. You cannot talk for 2 minutes, and then you could eat the frog. Really, really nice. In your box, you have the chocolate Brazil, inspired by Alex. It's a gel of lime with cachaça, and then cilantro and chili. I worked together with Jockey from the Fat Duck, the chef of the Fat Duck test kitchen. We did the most amazing things. It's really, really fun. Again, work together and you can make amazing things. So one of the things I really wanted to show to the guys was sukir. It's a spice that the Mayas used to make their chocolate drink. And they believe the more air you put into your chocolate drink, the better cacao flavor you have. So we decided to build like an aquarium in glass with helium gas. And instead of putting just ordinary chocolate, we use the real Maya recipe. We put on the helium, and certainly it starts like a volcano. The more air, the more flavor. And sometimes it goes wrong, so poof. And certainly the chocolate starts to fly. You're like, wow, cool. So it goes up, and then all the helium gets out again, and all the chocolate poof, fell to the floor. So it's not always a good idea. One of the guys who's also a member of the Fat Duck think tank is Professor Charles Spence. I think on the food world, he's one of the most important food professors we have. He did the most amazing research on food. Together with Bernard Lahousse from Food Pairing, very interesting research they do on flavors. I think it's important too to be open and work together with scientists. This guy, for example, is Professor Paul Bohm, and it's the brain specialist. So he asked me, Dominique, everybody says chocolates make people happy. So let's do research. He has a machine called an MRI scan. So he had volunteers put in, it's like a laundry machine. You put people in, just take pictures of your brains, get the people out, put it full of chocolate, put them back in again. And we could really prove that chocolate really, really makes you happy. It's fun, you know? Chocolate really makes you happy. And he told me, Dominique, you know, natural in chocolate, there's a hormone. And we call it the love hormone. So if you eat chocolate, you can have the same results like after an orgasm. Oh, cool. The problem is you have to eat 7 kilograms, so it's bad for your liver. But we did the research, and it's like the hormone you put into your chocolate, you can only eat 10 grams. And our body has a protection system. When you have too much of that hormone, you piss it out, it doesn't work. So we deblock the block system, it's with a Chinese pepper, and then we taste it. It's amazing. Eh? You can't walk anymore, you're really like, whoa, whoa. Are you very happy? It's about 10 minutes. It was not allowed for the Food and Drug Administration in Belgium to put it in production, but the research was really funny. He told me, Dominique, you know, the big brands of lipstick, Chanel and Dior and the lipsticks are based on cocoa butter. Because you girls, you eat a lot of lipstick in your life, you know that? You put it on, and we too, when we're sweet, say, all right, darling, we can have a lot of lipstick too. But cocoa butter is quite boring to taste, so for me it's not logical. And I made chocolate lipstick. I'm gonna try to do it well. Yeah. So it's a chocolate lipstick. And in Belgium, in Flanders, we have a special dessert, a very classic one, called Dame Blanche. It's vanilla ice cream with hot chocolate sauce. And when I do parties, instead of giving hot chocolate sauce, I give everybody a lipstick, also the boys. And then you eat your ice cream, and each time you eat it, you have your flavor. Yeah. Who's the lucky one? Up? Yes? Okay. So sometimes you have a product that after a while goes for his own story, because you can kiss with it, you can make marks on your body on it. It's kinky stuff. A few months ago, I had an email from an English customer, and he says, Dominique, your anal cream is amazing. I was like, so. A few years ago, I had the honor, together with Sergio, to organize the birthday party for the Rolling Stones. And they asked me to put a lot of fun into the menu. So my démaquillant is not discovered yet, so I'm still here. So they asked me to make a funny menu, and one of the things we did, we made a machine inspired. My grandfather had a machine for sniffing tobacco. You know, do it here in Switzerland? I don't know. It's sniffing tobacco. So it's like a little wooden machine. And we made a mix with chocolate, but if you just sniff chocolate, it doesn't work. You have like a chocolate jellyfish in your nose. So I say, I need something with power. I made a mix with chocolate and chili. That was the most stupid idea I ever had in my life. It was hurting a lot. But finally, we made a mix with chocolate, mint, and ginger. And the mint really opens your nose, and you have the chocolate who stays in your brain. Everybody was against it. So it's like a little catapult. I'm going to quickly show you. So we have the powder here. Okay. It's simple, eh? 1, 2, 3. In the beginning, it really gives you... It opens your brains. And then it goes down. Not yet. And then you have like the chocolate who stays in your brain, and then we brought the chocolate dessert. Of course, if you have the Rolling Stones to do promotion for a new product, it's very interesting. I would say yes too. In the meantime, we already sell more than 25,000 machines all over the world. Where did I put the clicker? Oh, somebody took it away? No? Oh, where's my clicker? Oh, here, okay. I go quickly, otherwise I know you're going to kill me. So, sniffing ingredients, there's a lot of discussions going on in the world. I just do it for fun. Don't think too much. Of course, it's much better to eat a piece of chocolate, but the customer today wants to have fun, really. And last year we had a lot of, they blocked the whole area of our shop because we had very high-class customers. And it was our wonderful Queen Matilda from Belgium, and she invited, I think, the most beautiful queen of the world, the Queen of Jordania. And believe me, the first thing she asked, "Hi, Dominique, where's your sniffing machine?" Like, Your Highness, maybe it's complicated to do it with all the press, but they bought 8 machines, eh? I think in the Palace of Jordania, there's a lot of party going on. In your box, you will find a chocolate. It's a caramel of yuzu. Yuzu is a Japanese lime. The second layer is ganache of raspberry and blueberry. We had the Golden Award or the International Chocolate Awards with this one. It's really fun. Originating chocolate from Dominican Republic. And to be honest with all of you guys, it's very important to keep your guts. I do stupid things, and thanks God I have a wonderful wife who hit me sometimes, like, you're crazy. But if you want to change and if you want to have fun, stay the boy, stay the little boy inside, and you can make wonderful things. Sometimes you knock with your head on the wall, but it's important. If you don't have the guts, you won't change the world of food. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Come on.
Please, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
One for you
Thank you.
and one for your wonderful wife.
Great, great. Thank you, thank you.
Ja, war das zu viel versprochen an Süße und an Schokoladenreichtum, den wir euch jetzt bei der letzten Show noch vorführen wollten, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren? Wenn es einen Beweis brauchte, dass Schokolade glücklich und fröhlich und humorvoll macht, er ist das lebende Beispiel dafür, dass das wirklich funktioniert. Vermutlich hat er auch in seinem Leben schon mehr als 7 Kilogramm davon gegessen, deshalb funktioniert es auch so gut bei ihm, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren. Gut dabei ist, dass es alles live auf Facebook zu sehen war, können wir uns dann natürlich noch anschauen auf YouTube, wenn wir den einen oder anderen Move vielleicht etwas verpasst haben und etwas für unser eigenes Leben noch mitnehmen können. Abgesehen davon, von der hormonellen Struktur der Schokolade, die sich offenbar auch auf Chocolatiers in buchstäblich erhebender Art und Weise auswirken. Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, Dominique Persoone.
Thank you. ChefAlps, thank you very much. Switzerland, respect. Show your balls. Thank you.